Yo, another brick in the wall here. Just about to make some lunch. I found this really cool account on YouTube, which is literally, hi baby. MIT posts their lectures on YouTube. So shout out to all the people that went to MIT. So now I can watch your lectures on the couch. But really cool lectures. And it's all about quantum theory. It's like this quantum theory lecture. And the teacher's super cool. And so I've been watching that. It's like a trippy podcast. It's pretty cool. You kind of have to watch because they got the chalkboard and whatnot. But I don't know. It just really been making me think about some weird stuff and like just how the world around me works. Like, I don't know. Basically, the thing that's tripping me out is the world could be like infinitely small, you know? Like, we think of atoms as being the building blocks, as everything around us, which they are, but like, what is like a proton composed of? What is a neutron composed of? What is the electron composed of? Like, and actually there's called quarks and gluons and all these things that they have in there. And what makes up a quark and what makes up a gluon, and just goes on and on and on. And it's just so small, you can't even see it, you know? We think of all this stuff being like stationary, you know, but really it's just moving. Everything's moving and waving and very psychedelic, all on a very tiny, minute level though, like the atomic level. Like, obviously we can't see that shit. So it's super weird. And they have this experiment where they send like an electron through this like box. I'm pretty sure it's a theoretical box, but like, let's say they have two paths this electron could take, and they're millions of miles long paths. But so there's path 1 and path 2. But what they realized, I'm pretty sure, and I'm gonna be missing out all this shit, like I don't know how to describe this that well, but basically when they sent this electron through this experiment, this box, and it should take one or the other paths and go out the other side type of thing, you know? But what they experienced was the electron didn't take path 1, it didn't take path 2, it didn't take both the paths, and it also didn't take either of the paths. So like, it's in just like a weird state of like not existing. I don't know, it exists, but it's just like how he described it was, it's a state of being that we haven't thought of yet. Like, it's neither here nor there, nor neither both places at the same time. And it's also not taking either of them. So it's like a new state of being that we haven't thought of yet, and they've just kind of put a label on it as superposition. So like, it's not here, there, both, not there. It's like in superposition. So like, I don't know, in my mind, I just kind of, first thing I think of is like everywhere, all around us, all at once, just on a tiny level. But yeah, I don't know. That just has me super tripping, because that just sentence that he said is like, it's a state that it's the electron's in a state that we haven't thought of before. So it's just like, man, everything we like know, just like, I feel like we don't know anything. It's just like, we know stuff about what this plate's made of and what we can see in the stars and what the rocks are made of and all that stuff. But like, we don't know anything about our world really on the tiniest of scales, or also on the grandest of scales, like the whole universe and all that stuff. Like, we have no idea. So it's like, it might be small and like insignificant, but it's like every time I listen to one of these like lectures or like podcasts about all this quantum stuff, it's like, it literally defies all normal physics. Like, the electrons and atoms and stuff, they behave in ways that don't even make sense. Like, it shouldn't even be able to do that. Like, you know, and they're doing it. So it's like, it's just super trippy. Like, I just think it's so weird, like all that stuff. And yeah, literally, I don't know, that stuff is just crazy to me, because like in the old days when germ theory was like first thing, and you know, you have the medical establishment like doctors and all this stuff who don't believe in germs, so they're, you know, doing surgeries without washing their hands and all this stuff. And all those germ deniers, I don't know what you'd call them, thought the people that were coming up with germ theory and stuff were crazy. Like, you guys are crazy, like all this stuff, you know. And then obviously it's like, nah, you guys denying germs are crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? So like, they didn't know, they were just ignorant, they had no idea. And I think we're in that same space now, just like with the whole world. Like, we don't know, we got our science and whatnot to do medicine and all our stuff, but like all this quantum stuff is just theory. Like, the lecturer, the teacher dude literally says like to not use the word like we don't know, but like this is like what we think. So it's kind of type of thing like that, you know? But it's like, yeah, so I just think if we're in that same thing, like, I don't think the world is as it seems at all. Like, you know, if we really understood like how everything worked, like the universe and all the tiniest particles, yeah, gravity, like, I just think we would be like, wow, it is so much different than we ever could have even imagined. Like, they took this is kind of off another tangent, but they took two protons and smashed them together. Two of the smallest little freaking things, and not including quarks and gluons and all that shit though. So, you know, protons, tiny, tiny, tiny part of the atom. Most have like 20, 30 protons, you know what I'm saying? And then they smashed them together, just two protons, 1 and 2. And it created a giant shockwave of like thousands of particles. So I don't know. It's just, the world is crazy. Like, I don't know, it's a tiny explosion, but turns into something massively like atomic that you can't even see it, but it's like, it's just crazy. So yeah, I don't even know like, you know, what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm an idiot, but you know, I just think it's crazy. Like, two particles can turn into thousands just because they hit each other. So, you know, and who knows what those particles were. I didn't read into it that much, but that stuff's been super trippy to me, literally. And you know, about to have some lunch and probably watch more of their lectures. Literally, shout out to them putting it on the website on YouTube, because you can learn so much. They have the whole like semester or whatever, you know, like the whole year semester of this course on YouTube. So like, shout out, you know, MIT is expensive, so thank you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Nothing's as it seems. Genuinely, I feel, I just don't think we know anything. Like, we have our fun little sciences and whatnot, but I think it's super way more trippy than we could ever imagine. Like, and it's just like the Horton Hears a Who thing, man. Or like the, you know, the ant doesn't know we're here. Like, to our scale, everything seems normal. This is our whole world, but I think the whole world exists in very, very tiny scales and very massive scales. Obviously it does, but like so small that it's like, I genuinely believe it's, could be like almost infinitely small, and it's just tiny. So obviously we're not gonna be able to like access it or see it or anything like that, but it's there. Like, what's a quark made of? That's all I want to know. And then what is that made of? So that's all I want to know. It's all super crazy out here, y'all. But yeah, that's it. Peace.